My SEL told me that my wedding dress is the worst gown she has ever seen, but my brother's speech revealed her plans to ruin my wedding. My sister-in-law Courtney would not shut up about my wedding dress from the moment she saw it. "That neckline makes you look desperate for attention," she said during my fitting. "The lace looks like old curtains. Are you sure you want to wear something so dated?" This was my grandmother's dress that she'd worn in 1952, restored and altered to fit me perfectly. It meant everything to me, but Courtney acted like I'd picked it from a dumpster. She'd send me links to other dresses daily. "This would hide your arms better," or "this one would make you look less bottom heavy." When I said I was happy with my choice, she'd sigh and say, "Some people just don't want to look their best on their wedding day." At my bridal shower, she told everyone she'd tried to help me find something more flattering, but I was too stubborn to listen. "I even offered to pay for a better dress, but she insists on wearing that old thing," she announced to 40 guests. My mother was furious, but kept quiet to avoid drama. Courtney brought fabric samples to my bachelorette party. "Just in case you change your mind, we could still order something decent if we rush ship." She spent the entire night telling strangers at the bar about how I was making a huge mistake with my dress choice. "She's going to look back at photos and cry," she kept saying. The week before the wedding, Courtney called my photographer, told her to avoid full-length shots because the dress was unflattering, called my makeup artist to suggest heavy contouring to balance out what the dress did to my face, called the florist to recommend bigger bouquets to distract from the dress. They all called me confused and uncomfortable. She showed up to the rehearsal dinner with a garment bag. "I brought a backup dress just in case you come to your senses." It was this tight, revealing thing covered in sequins. "This is what modern brides wear. That old dress makes you look like you're cosplaying your grandmother." My husband Tom told her to stop, but she said she was trying to save me from myself. On my wedding morning, while I was getting ready, Courtney kept making comments. "The lighting is really showing how yellow that old fabric is." And, "Are you sure you want your arms out like that?" My bridesmaids were ready to throw her out, but I told them to ignore her. I had my reasons for staying calm. As I walked down the aisle, I heard Courtney whisper to someone, "She looks like she's wearing a costume from a community theater production." But everyone else was crying at how beautiful the dress looked. My grandmother, who was 93 and there in her wheelchair, was sobbing with joy seeing her dress again. After the ceremony, during cocktail hour, Courtney cornered different relatives to point out everything wrong with my dress. The uneven hem from the alterations, the way the beading had dulled with age. The silhouette was unflattering for my body type. She didn't know my cousin Jana was recording the speeches for my grandmother, who was hard of hearing. The reception was when things got interesting. Courtney had been married to my brother James for 8 years. Their wedding had been this massive, expensive affair where she'd worn a $20,000 designer dress that she talked about constantly. Now that was a real wedding dress, she'd always say. During the speeches, James stood up to give his best man's toast. But instead of talking about Tom and me, he started talking about Courtney. "Seeing my sister in my grandmother's dress today made me realize something important," he said. The room went quiet. "It made me realize that some people understand what matters in a marriage and some people don't." Courtney smiled, thinking he was about to agree with her about the dress. James continued, "My sister chose a dress that represents family, history, and love. It's the same dress our grandmother wore when she married our grandfather, and they were together for 67 years until he passed." He turned to look directly at Courtney. "My wife spent our entire wedding planning, obsessed with having the most expensive everything. The dress, the flowers, the venue. She said it was about making memories, but it was really about showing off." Courtney's face was turning red. "That $20,000 dress she never stops talking about? She wore it once. It's sitting in our closet in a bag that costs more than most people's rent. Meanwhile, my sister is wearing a dress that's been worn by the woman who taught us what love actually looks like." He pulled out an envelope. "Courtney, since you're so concerned about appearances and what people wear, maybe you should know that everyone here has been talking about your outfit today." She looked down at her dress, a white lace cocktail dress she'd worn to my wedding. Full story on channel. Link below.